from Ball State University. News for the campus community and all of Delaware County. This is NewsLink Indiana.
And good evening. Roses are red, violets are blue.
News, sports, and weather all coming to you.
Yeah, that's what we wrote and we loved it. I'm Adam Fox.
And I'm Julian Teaker, and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. And the possibility of teaching creationism in Indiana schools is no more. The leader of the Indiana House is killing the proposal for this legislative session with a procedural move. If passed, the bill would allow local school districts to teach creationism if they included theories from multiple religions. Republican House Speaker Brian Bosma said he considered the bill a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Indiana legislators are nearing an agreement on a bill that would shield people from an arrest on alcohol charges under certain conditions. The proposal gives immunity from public intoxication or underage drinking charges for people who contact help for someone facing an alcohol-related emergency. The House voted 96-0 on Tuesday, in favor of the bill after a similar version passed in the Senate 50-0 as well. Legislators must still agree on a final version of the bill before advancing it to the governor for his consideration.
The Indiana House Education Committee wants your credits to count. On Monday, the committee voted to approve a new measure that would make it easier for students to transfer credits between the state's public universities. The proposal will require universities to adopt similar core classes and standardized course numbers for basic classes. This way, when students transfer universities, they won't risk losing previously earned credits. And couples usually celebrate Valentine's Day with flowers and chocolate. I know I did. However, several groups in the Arts and Journalism building were using the holiday to promote issues ranging from mutual consent to women's education.
The atrium of the Arts and Journalism building is the site of several groups promoting health education and other services amid the romance of Valentine's Day. Student volunteers and members of the Office of Health Education spent this afternoon promoting communication between partners. The event, called Consent is Sexy, promoted both safe sex practices and the clear communication of consent between couples.
One of the major points that we're trying to get across is that consent is sexy and that you must obtain consent before every sexual act. And consent must be mutual, sober, and verbal.
Sharon Rhodes of the Red Cross spent Valentine's Day in the atrium getting signatures for a blood drive taking place tomorrow behind the Student Center from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
It's a gift that money can't buy, but we always need. So we've been very fortunate. We have a healthy donor base here at Ball State, and they've been very supportive of our blood drives.
And while the Red Cross was asking people to give a gift that literally comes from the heart, Ball State Comedy Troupe Something Else spent the afternoon reminding people to be safe. The group of student comedians went around handing out condoms to lunchgoers.
No, just having fun, just going out there, talking to people, getting our name out there, and passing out condoms and Valentines. Yeah.
So romance will be the theme of tonight. But these groups are hoping health and safety stay in the minds of the many couples who are celebrating Valentine's Day. In Muncie, Trent Townsend for NewsLink Indiana.
And thank you for that, Trent. What a unique twist on the holiday. And the Office of Health Education will also be hosting a Sexperts panel in room 102 in the Teachers College tomorrow at 7:30 p.m.
Health officials have confirmed 3 new cases of the measles linked to an outbreak that began in the Super Bowl Village. There are now 13 people infected, all in Boone and Hamilton counties. Another suspected case has been reported at Noblesville schools. A spokesperson for the Indiana State Department of Health says the number of confirmed cases is expected to grow. All the cases can be traced back to the Super Bowl Village 2 days before the game. More than 200,000 people were at that village that day, and Indiana health officials have alerted health departments in New York and Massachusetts.
And you know, Adam, when I think about the Super Bowl, I think about that measles outbreak, but I also think about the wonderful weather we had leading up to that week and that weekend.
And now it's gone. Chris Havley, is it gone for like a couple months?
No.
Yeah, guys. Well, I got some good news and some bad news, but I hope you did enjoy my Valentine's gift to you, which was that light little dusting of snow that we saw recently. I'm sorry. That's all I can give you right now, okay? The almanac today, hey, we're below average. You can feel it out there today, and we're going to start seeing some changes as we go into the future. And our records for the day were 65 back in 1990 and 0 in 1986. So the 80s were good. The 90s weren't so great. Now, as we take a look at the national radar satellite, I can show you there's another system moving in from the southwest. That's going to be impacting our weather coming up later in the week. I'll have details on that coming up in the 7-day forecast. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chris. Interstate 70 has reopened after a fatal crash closed all eastbound lanes west of Indianapolis earlier today. The crash involved 2 semi-truck trailers and a tow truck. The first semi-driver was standing between his rig and the tow truck when another semi hit his truck. That man was pronounced dead at the scene. The crash occurred around 7:30 this morning and closed lanes at the 57-mile marker in Hendricks County until 4 p.m. Coming up, find out where there might be a shortage on your favorite snack.
And learn how a broken heart can have lasting effects. Stay tuned.
In 1970.
Welcome back. An Indiana teenager is being called a hero for saving her family's life. As Kirk Mason reports, if it were not for her quick thinking, her family...
Magali Garcia is in many ways a typical teen, enjoying high school and looking forward to her future. But firefighters say it's what happened one night last week inside her home that truly makes her a hero.
They were able to escape a major house fire. Had she not awoken when she did, I don't believe anybody would have gotten out of that house.
Magali had just fallen asleep.
I felt like I couldn't breathe anymore, so I opened my eyes and I couldn't see anything.
Her bedroom was full of smoke, so Magali felt her way through the doorway and then woke up her parents, who then woke up her younger sisters, along with an older sister downstairs and her nephew and brother-in-law. Something firefighters say a lot of people in the same situation simply aren't able to do.
And a lot of people will freeze and they can't get out, and they don't know what to do.
Make no mistake, she was scared.
I was like in shock. I was so scared.
But calm enough to think quickly and save lives. And Tuesday at Bremen High School.
Magali, we've got some special people here that want to make a special presentation for you today and for your family.
Congratulations. No, job well done.
Firefighters recognized her, and from her school family donated clothes and more than $650 raised from a basketball game by Magali's fellow cheerleaders. Her family had no renter's insurance.
Invariably, we always come together as a family and support each other through those times of crisis, and I think that's really critical.
Magali doesn't think of herself as a hero.
That's something anybody would have done in my place.
She's just thankful to have her family.
The most important things are like your family, like the material things they can be made up for.
It's Valentine's Day, a time to cherish that special someone. And new research shows a broken romance or a lost love can cause real medical problems. Suzanne Hendricks has more in today's Health Minute.
Love is a many-splendored thing, or it can break your heart, because sometimes when someone loses a spouse or loved one for whatever reason, the stress and the anxiety can lead to health problems. In fact, recent studies have shown that people whose spouses die have a higher chance of suffering a heart attack immediately after the death, especially when they're older.
Within a 24-hour period after death of one spouse, there was a much higher likelihood of sudden death of the surviving spouse, about a magnitude of about 21-fold.
And a loss of a loved one can cause a physical condition known as Takotsubo, or broken heart syndrome. Although doctors don't understand why it happens, it usually occurs after a tragic event.
This can present very much like a heart attack. It can present with chest pain. It can present with abnormalities on the electrocardiogram. It's not truly broken. The top part of the heart squeezes fine, but the bottom part of the heart is almost motionless.
Traditionally, those who suffer from broken heart syndrome do recover. However, cardiologists recommended those who have suffered a loss see their doctor to talk about ways to cope. And if at all possible, these patients should surround themselves with friends and family as they go through the grieving process. For today's Health Minute, I'm Susan Hendricks.
A new study says homeowners are more attractive And retail sales caused some worry on Wall Street. Shelby Lynn has those stories and more in today's Business Brief.
Stocks rebounded in the final few minutes Tuesday to end a little changed. The Dow closed up 4 points at 12,878. The Nasdaq and S&P were virtually flat. Retail sales increased in January, but not by as much as expected. They only rose by 0.4%, half as much as what economists had predicted. The numbers were dragged down by a surprise decline in auto sales. Michael Kors stock is all dressed up and looking fabulous. The luxury retailer posted stellar quarterly results, which boosted its stock by almost 23%. Michael Kors Holdings says its revenue for last quarter jumped 68% from the same time in 2010. The Fashion Week staple went public in December, and its stock price has steadily climbed. Here's something that could spur home sales. A real estate company's study says homeowners could be more attractive. In a survey of 1,000 single people, 18% of men said they would rather date a homeowner than a renter. More than a third of women said the same thing. As for the home's perks, it appears master baths and walk-in closets are a turn-on for both sexes. For Business Brief, I'm Shelby Lynn.
We now turn to Dea Hernandez with a look at tomorrow's daily news.
What can we look forward to, Dea?
Thanks, Julian and Adam. Here are tomorrow's headlines from our partners at Ball State Daily News. Ball State students are thankful for fewer potholes. Find out why Muncie's roads are better shape than usual this winter. BSU professor Michael Hanley researched how many students on Ball State's campus have cell phones. It might be more than you think. All this and more coming up in tomorrow's Ball State Daily News on newsstands across campus or online 24 hours a day at bsudailynews.com. I'm Dea Hernandez. Back to you guys at the desk.
Your favorite Hostess snacks may be missing from the shelves, but it's not because of popularity, it's because of a strike. Workers who manufacture Twinkies, Ho-Hos, and Wonder Bread have threatened to strike if Hostess brands impose a, quote, unfair, unquote, contract terms, including wage cuts. Now, Hostess filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in January, and the company owes $800 million. A hearing is set for March 5th on the proposed collective bargaining contracts. Teamsters say if the judge lets the bosses break the contract and cut their wages, they will walk, and that may mean no more Twinkies.
And it's Valentine's Day, and for some, love may be in the air.
But will rain or snow be joining them? Find out after the break.
One too many.
And if you were up early this morning, the roads were not in too good of shape. About 2 inches of snow. I was sliding around in my car.
I know. When I was walking, it was very slushy outside. Chris, how are the roads going to hold up later on in the week?
Well, it looked to be a little better. I'm sorry you guys had the travel difficulties. I didn't have to be up till later in the day, so sorry about you. But hey, the roads did clear up a little bit because we did warm up slightly later in the day, just above the freezing mark. Current temperatures across the nation, 30 degrees in Denver, 57 in Dallas. Not very warm, but still nicer than it is here. As we zoom in on into the Muncie area, I'll show you the temperatures here are right around the middle to upper 30s for most of the area in Indiana. 35 Lafayette, 35 down in Terre Haute, and also 35 in Bloomington. So it's the middle 30s around the area. For right now, the current conditions here are, well, they're in the 30s, but the wind chill is down to 27 degrees because of that west-southwest wind at 7 miles per hour, and the pressure is at 30.03 inches. And I'll be wavering back and forth because we're going to see a system moving in from the southwest as our satellite radar composite shows us. It's down there. You can see a little blip of rain pop up, and that's going to be impacting our weather as we approach the next several days. Now, behind me, that system we saw, the snowfall from overnight last night, that's making its way off out of our area, and just left in its wake are some clouds, and we'll see some mostly cloudy skies tomorrow with some chances of rain coming up, and I'll have some details in just a moment. Now, as we look at Futurecast, I'll show you that the system down to our southwest will start to make its way closer to us by Wednesday afternoon. Now, I think Wednesday overnight, right around, I'd say, 1 a.m. Thursday morning, we'll start to see the heaviest chances of rain, and we could see, well, nothing really significant, but at least some heavier showers that'll at least wash off the salt. that'll give us make your cars a little cleaner. High pressure builds in from the southwest, and conditions really start to improve after that. Clouds and calm tonight, low temperature of 28 degrees. For the rest of the 7-day forecast, let's take a look at the next 3 days first. We'll see 41 for a high on Wednesday, back in the 40s for the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, with low temperatures down in the 20s. As we look at the next 7-day forecast, guys, it looks pretty decent with temperatures right around or above average than usual. 42 for Friday and Saturday, and Tuesday, a slight chance of showers.
And some of us are trying to be up early in the morning and be productive for our girlfriends.
That's true. That's true.
It's a good day to wake up early and be productive, happily.
That's true. I failed in that, but I'll give you better weather coming from that later in the week, okay?
Chris, don't worry. You can still take me out to dinner.
Oh, sure. Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
We'll be right back with some sports.
And coming up in sports, the Pacers are taking on the Big Three. Some new news about Peyton Manning and maybe his futures with the Colts. And Ball State adding yet another trophy to their collection. All that and more coming up next in sports.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the Forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Right now, over 13 million people are affected by famine, war, and drought in the Horn of Africa. But saving these lives doesn't take a lot. It just takes a lot of us. So I'm forwarding these facts to every shaman, tuk-tuk driver, Sherpa, Kurdistan tea house owner, iguana butcher, and Ozark squirrel chef I've ever met. Text GIVE to 777-444 to donate $10 and forward the facts.
Well, sports fans on this Valentine's Day just love the news they got from Ball State when we heard that the men's golf team won the Mid-American match play today at Lake Jovita South Golf Course in Florida. How lucky is the golf team? We get snow, they get to go to Florida to play golf, and it's their home match too. Leading the team with second and third best round averages were Tyler Merkel and TJ Carpenter. Both would go undefeated, and Merkel would win all of his 3 matches along with Brody Williams. And then Merkel on Twitter at Tyler Merkel, celebrating a little bit. There's only one first time to win, and we got the inaugural MAC Match Play Championship. Way to go, fellas. Hashtag proud. And the men's golf team will resume the rest of their season later on when the weather gets a little bit nicer, thanks to Chris Havley. All right, Pacers, they've been such a treat to the city of Indianapolis this year. They're taking on the Big Three tonight at home, and a lot of fans, I know Adam Fox was getting into it earlier, and unfortunately, it got rather ugly rather quickly. Unfortunately, no highlights because that game is still going on in the fourth quarter. The Heat, 99-71, absolutely dominating our Pacers. LeBron James, who will not be getting a Valentine from me after what he did to my city. 23 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Yes, I haven't gotten over that. And David West going for 14 points to lead the Indianapolis Pacers. So they've actually outscored the Heat in the fourth quarter, so hopefully they can make a little bit of a comeback there. All right, with Andrew Luck, been in the news a lot for Indianapolis. It's nice to see, however, that another Luck is making headlines. It's his dad, Oliver Luck, the athletic director of West Virginia, making headlines today as the Mountaineers announced they're headed to the Big 12. West Virginia is having to pay $20 million to leave the Big East, but the Big 12 is calling their name, and the conference is actually going to pay part of that giant fee. Mountaineers now join the likes of Texas, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Oklahoma, and how that affects Ball State fans is that the thought is maybe Temple could go and join the Big East now that they're looking for new members. So that will be interesting to watch Ball State fans heading into the future. The good news of this is that it means college football playoffs could be coming sooner than expected. All right, Peyton Manning, he's been given a great Valentine's gift by Jim Irsay. He said the ball is in Peyton's hands if he wants to stay in Indy or move on. Peyton will make his decision sometime next week. The two are set to meet. And let's take a look at some upcoming events in Ball State sports. The men's basketball team is going to be taking on Toledo tomorrow at 7, trying to end their woes against the MAC East. Luckily, they're back against the MAC West now. In baseball and softball, beginning their seasons just in a few days. And Adam, I know you're a big baseball fan. I saw the Red Sox team bus pulling up into their spring training. It's just a couple months away. We're going to be talking baseball again.
Crack of a baseball bat. Let's get excited with that. We won't hear Peyton Manning news anymore. It's almost too much.
Exactly. Your Reds, they're going to go for a run this year. I can feel it.
Good.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Has the pressure of Valentine's Day got you stressed? The Rec Center just may have the answer. Find out all the details after the break.
And even the dining halls got romantic today for Valentine's Day. Stay tuned.
Need to give someone a last-minute Valentine's Day gift? The Rec is hosting massage services all this week in RC 201. It costs $35 per session. Credit cards and debit cards with Visa, MasterCard, or Discover will be the only option to pay for a session. You can register online in the communications portion of the Ball State website. Be sure to book now. Sessions are going fast and last until Friday. BSU Dining is also helping in the Valentine's Day cause. Tonight, Ball State's Energy Action Team, also known as BEAT, teamed up with BSU Dining to host Dinner by Candlelight. Locations were at America's Buffet in La Follette and the Retreat in Neuer. To promote the Residence Hall Energy Challenge, all lights were turned off in the eating area, and instead they used LED lights. Attendees were given dinner, chocolate, and jewelry that glowed. The cost was $7.55, which is a meal card swipe, $8.45 for guests and students without meal plans. Gospel singer Marvin Winans has been chosen to give the eulogy at Whitney Houston's funeral. The funeral is scheduled for this Saturday in New Jersey. Winans married Houston and Bobby Brown in 1992. He is a Grammy Award winner. The funeral will be private, and friends and family only will attend at Newark's New Hope Baptist Church. Houston became friends with the Winans family after performing with sisters Cece and BB Winans. The funeral home handling the arrangements has not issued any other details on Saturday's service. I hope everyone had a great Valentine's Day. That's it for your entertainment. I'm Kelsey Baker.
And thank you, Kelsey. And a quick wrap here for weather.
Yeah, I'll show you what's going to happen basically.
Let's see it.
Cooler temperatures now, warming up for the rest of the week, and sunny skies. Woo! Happy Valentine's Day for the last 3 hours we have left. You're very welcome.
Temptations, blue skies go away.
It'll be on my car on the way home.
It'll be fantastic. And that's all we have tonight. You should be sure to join us back here at NewsLink tomorrow night.
In the meantime, you can keep up with all the latest news. Just follow us on Twitter or like us on Facebook.
Thanks for tuning in, and good night, and happy Valentine's Day. Heart.